Are we on the verge of a breakout? Market's been pretty quiet in recent days. However, one of my favorite technical analysis and the inventor of the Bollinger Bands posted a tweet on the 7th. Dates are important here. He says, classic Bollinger Band pattern is forming. BTC daily blast off, rip through the upper band, consolidate, find support at the middle band, turn higher. What in the world does that mean? And who is this guy in the first place? Well, let me show you. So that was John Bollinger, the inventor of Bollinger Bands. I got an old video on the channel about the story of how he created it. Might be interested in that. Point is, though, what he means is that on the daily, Bitcoin has a lot of momentum. And if Bitcoin has momentum, so does the rest of the market. If you look at the chart for crypto, total market cap, as well as Bitcoin, you see a lot of similarities. On this chart here, what you have in yellow is BTC's price movement next to the total crypto market cap's price movement. These circles here are the last 3 years for July. Even though we're only in about 10 days, we're down a little bit. We're in the red, barely. I still think we're going to have some kind of catalyst, some kind of news that's going to come out this month that's going to change the direction. Now, as far as what he was referring to, daily momentum looks strong. We jump back over here. He says, blast off, rip through the upper band, consolidate, find support at the middle. So he's saying, with that daily momentum, BTC is going to start slowly moving towards the upside. Once it does that, it's going to make contact with this top band here. Now, if I jump over to BTC, right? This is what I'm anticipating to happen here. Similar, this green line, similar to what he says. I just think it's going to be a little bit more turbulence before then. However, if we do, and we're sitting above this orange line here, which represents that median range, we have broken above it. So the daily momentum he's suggesting is going to push us up to this top band. Now, Bitcoin, I have the percentages up on my chart here, but that price, we're talking about a solid 40K Bitcoin, maybe 45. Then he says we're going to come back, settle down on that median level, and then push forth again. Now, this could be over the course of a few months, which is what my belief is. We can also see it happen over the course of a few weeks, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the principal rules when using Bollinger Bands to do your technical analysis is the behavior of the bands, the top here and the lower here. When they contract, markets are going to get quiet. When there's a lot of expansion, as you can see, prices tend to go crazy. Now, what are we seeing on this chart here? You see these two blue patterns, these two blue lines here, they're starting to contract. That is how I know personally that this market is going to get a bit quiet. However, nothing can be too sure, because something else that happens when we have contraction, and this is what you can see when we look back to end of 2019, 2020, that we can still get green positive price movement. And as a matter of fact, you can see here from June of 2019 to July of 2020, we pretty much stayed flat, but we stayed above the previous highs from the previous cycle. So with that logic, you can assume that over the next few months, we may get back to the 45, 50, and then stay there until the halving, May, April of next year. And then after that, sky's the limit, ladies and gentlemen. That's my opinion on the markets. That's how I'm seeing things. That's why in the video yesterday in our little sit down, I said, I'm not buying nothing. I'm not buying nothing until I see some significant price movement. And I want to see it kind of go down, because I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to accumulate. I'm trying to accumulate the other 50% of my bag at a discount, my guys. So, yeah, sit still. Be patient. Let the money you have in the market work for you. Let's talk a little crypto news, ladies and gentlemen. Bank of America says Ripple making waves in cross-border payments with blockchain technology. This we know, Ripple is the GOAT, but their relationship with Bank of America goes back quite some time. I remember a certain PDF report that we broke down here on the channel displaying Bank of America's feelings about blockchain technology. Number of projects were mentioned. Ripple was at the top. This is a new report, though, that has come out highlighting Ripple XRP's potential to address the Asian Pacific region. In a recent report, Bank of America analyst says Ripple is an exception to blockchain's relatively modest effect on international payments. In a quote, they state, another technology that is having an effect on real-time activity in the APAC, albeit to a lesser degree than APIs, it's blockchain. It's used as an underlying security measure in certain transactions, but it's not having the level of success that its preceding hype had suggested. That's a very close-minded statement. That's the simplest way I can put that, because, my dude, you guys should know at Bank of America how crypto payments are advancing rapidly. That's why y'all have so many of those patents. Bank of America think they slick. Well, let's continue. It has played an important role in helping to digitize trade documentation as the technical basis of a smart contract, but in cross-border payments, the work of Ripple is a possible exception. Its impact has been limited. He says the reason for this is the rapid emergence of Swift's global payments innovation. So we are still at a point where Ripple is competing with Swift, ladies and gentlemen. However, both of these companies are making use of blockchain technology. We may not be at the point where it's mainstream, but I guarantee you, we are not that far away. We are not that far away. Next story, breaking $500 million crypto asset inflows. Here's another thing that's going to affect the market over the next few weeks, guys. If we have all of these inflows coming in the month of July, I wholly expect some to stay above water in July, to stay above water, because $500 million is a lot. But in crypto, that's daily volume right there. All right, that's daily volume in Ethereum alone. However, when it's distributed throughout the entire market, it allows us to maintain certain price levels. 30K historically has been the favorite buying point for a lot of institutions. I remember back in 2020 when we were floating around this 30K range again, and Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, who else came in? They were talking, Winklevoss twins bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Kathy Wood bought a bunch of Bitcoin at 30K. Elon made his purchase of Bitcoin. It was around 30K. So 30,000 seems to be the magical entry point for a lot of institutions. And that's why we get headlines like this. So let's read in. Crypto asset investment products recorded 136 million in inflows last week. This was reported by CoinShares. This is another high week of inflows, indicating that institutional and retail investors remain bullish on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, as digital asset investment products saw 3 consecutive weeks of inflows after 9 consecutive weeks of outflows. Here's something else that's interesting. What did we see go down in the last 3 weeks? In the last 12 weeks, the SEC crackdown. So what has happened is the SEC made it known that they were going after these companies. People started pulling money out. Once they saw what the result was going to be, people had less fear, right? That's why we looked at the fear and greed index, and it was still in the green. It's neutral as of today. So that shows you people are slowing down. But this statistic here is showing us that the big money is still in, and they're getting their positions. So you can imagine, guys, that's why, again, I said, I'm sitting still. I'm going to let the big players do what they're going to do. Let the big money come in, and I'm just going to rise to the top. So according to the Bank for International Settlements, there will be 15 CBDCs likely by 2030. A survey conducted by the Bank for International Settlements also found that 93% of central banks worldwide were engaged in a digital currency network in 2022. In the midst of a bear market, you have all of these central banks working on these. Keep that in mind, guys. This is what we've been seeing play out in a bear market. You guys remember that? After the metaverse hype was over, all we heard about was payments. All we heard about throughout the end of 2021, all throughout 2022, all we heard about was CBDCs, cross-border payments, instant this, instant that. And the narrative is going to continue, guys. And what I think because when I look into CBDC information, to gauge a idea of how people are receiving it. It's a situation where it's not even a central bank digital currency physically itself. CBDCs are now becoming a term to describe a digital dollar for any nation. So what you'll see when you get to looking into these facts and figures is a lot of these same central banks that are promoting central bank digital currencies, they also have stable coins in their back pocket. This is the same reason why at the top of the year, global stablecoin arrangements, I'm gonna keep saying it until we see it. Now, might be sooner than later, because Hong Kong is training traders as part of a virtual asset education effort. This is how we're gonna land the plane in this video, guys. I just wanted to share this because this is the next stage. Listen, the free education programs for crypto are not going to last much longer. I was able to get one in 2021 thanks to the University of Nova Scotia. However, there are now more US universities that are starting to do this. I've seen this in India. I've seen this down in Australia, especially in Africa. And now Hong Kong is on the same mission. And this makes a lot of sense because Hong Kong is shifting their perception on digital assets. It's like they banned everything over there so that way they could sit back without people watching, study the technology, figure out how they can make use of it in the most efficient way. Then they legalized it all again, and now they're pushing their front. They are coming in strong, guys. So these are elements that you need to watch out for that will just show you that the space is still moving. Education. When you start to educate the next generation about something, then you're anticipating it being there. So tell your friends about that one. That's all I got for this one, though. If you found value in this video, of course, you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that way you don't miss the next one. And as always, you guys know what I want you to do. Let me hear you say it. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'm Wade Teamer, and I'll see y'all in the next one.